Good morning, guys. Welcome to my channel. It's one of my early morning chats with you guys while I get my day started. Actually, do I look tired? Probably so. I just got off from work and just actually walked in my house. So now I'm going to have some coffee while I talk to you guys. So 2019 just started. And I'm low-key over it already because I have buried or am getting ready to bury the second person since January. First person was my uncle, and he was my dad's childhood best friend. He died tragically, and so I had to deal with that, especially because it affected my dad so horribly because they were really, really close. And now, you guys, I'm making my coffee. Gotta have this. Now, my boss. And previously I said I think I may have mentioned that my boss had a heart attack. Well, on Sunday, by the time you guys see this, it'll probably be a week old. My boss passed away. He initially went into the hospital having a heart attack. And from the heart attack, he ended up with a stent being placed in his heart. He had 90% blockage on one side of his heart, 60% on the other, which is why the stent was put in place. He was discharged from the hospital on Thursday, and by Sunday he was back in the hospital still having chest pain, and his they had to resuscitate him twice. They were able to bring him back, but by the third time his pulse was so weak that he flatlined, and they didn't bother to resuscitate again. So that's how he met his demise. The last time I saw him was on January 21st. And on January 21st was right before he was scheduled to go to, he was saying he was going to the ER. He was having chest pain right when he left. And I told him, I said, don't let this job kill you. Like, this job is stressful as hell, and it will take you out of here. And he was like, I'm not. Okay. And I believe wholeheartedly, even with the blockage, that stress exacerbated his heart, I want to say heart disease, but the stress of it all just weighed heavily on his, his heart. Because a lot of times, and that's what I really want to get into today, a lot of times we internalize so much crap that goes on around us that it manifests itself physically, meaning you start to get sicknesses and illnesses that, had you not been under a lot of stress, you probably wouldn't even have. Stress is the #1 cause of a lot of illnesses. As someone who has cancer, how rapidly it could spread when they're under a lot of stress. Heart disease, high blood pressure. I am one who has high blood pressure. Now, it would be, whether it was now or later, it was going to happen because it's a genetic thing. It's something that everybody in my family struggles with, and on both sides. So I was like predestined to have it. Now, managing it is something different. I do take medication for it, but I'm going to tell you how maybe I wouldn't have struggled with it so soon, being that I went into this job. When I first started working this job, it was back in 2015. I had been working in the same field but with a different company for like 3 years prior to coming to this company that I'm with now. And when I was working for the other company, the stress level was high. So that's when I originally started having like so many problems with my blood pressure. And it was because of stress. Like, it was nothing but stress. You already have house stress, things that you have to worry about within your household. But then to go to work and then have work stress, that then becomes a lot of stress on one person. And if you're like me, where you don't have someone to release that to, you internalize it. That's what my boss did. He internalized a lot of things that he was struggling with and didn't tell anybody that he had all of these things going on. Out of fear, or not being fear, the fear of not being manly enough, because he's willing to discuss all these issues that he's having. But he's human. He was human. So, so that further leads me to say to you guys, don't let these jobs kill you. Because just as short as my boss has now died, the job is going to continue. And it's on to stress out the next person and kill that person if they'll allow it. You have enough stress in your life, which is why my ultimate goal, the ultimate goal for me and my family, is for me to be able to be here with them and let this job go. Because it is, even still on the level that I am, since I stepped away from management, it has a lot of stress with it too. There's stress anytime you deal with people, but then it's exacerbated when you have individuals that are mentally, developmentally, and emotionally disabled. Now that then becomes a whole other beast. Do you hear me? That's a whole lot to deal with. And people in your everyday life will know nothing of what you deal with when you walk out that door and you go and you work your job. It only becomes relevant if someone is seeing. If people don't see, they don't believe. But I'm here to tell you, as a living witness, I have been hospitalized one time for my gallbladder. And just recently, I had a stint where I had to go to the ER. Had to rush myself to the ER because I had a headache for over 24 hours. Come to find out, my stress level was really high. My blood pressure had elevated. When my blood pressure elevated, even when I was taking my medicine, even after I got to the hospital, my blood vessels were so tight and constricted that the blood wasn't flowing, which meant that was causing the headache. That was what was causing the headache. And eventually, if I didn't go and get seen and get treated, there was potential for a stroke, because my blood vessels were constricted like this tight, fist tight. And when the doctor was like, it's something going on, he was like, we're gonna have to give you a steroid shot, because the steroid shot would release the tension in the blood vessels and start to open them up and dilate them. And then I had to get pain medication, not regular pain meds, tramadol. They had to inject into my bloodstream because it was the fastest way to get me some pain relief, because everything else was not working. All of this from this job now, because even though I was no longer in my management capacity, it doesn't relieve me of an obligation. Here's where my obligation comes in. As a person who was in nursing, you take an oath, just like a doctor, to do no harm. So that means anything that you seek that is a potential or could cause harm, you interject yourself into it, because you then put your licensure, your certifications at risk if you don't step in. So out of that, I have to, when certain things are going on, if the documentation is not correct, if medications are not where they're supposed to be. The counts are wrong. Seeing, people are not documenting. If you didn't document it, it didn't happen. So I'm having to double check behind people, and I'm doing this, one, to save myself, because I do have children that I have to provide for, and I'm not willing to let anybody jeopardize that. So I have to deal with that, and then turn around and try to help save my boss, because these folks were literally about to have him without a job, and then all of us would have been without a job, because that's just how it happens. If you're not, once one go down, everybody in the house would end up going down because of it. So it was on me to kind of, I hadn't, I knew more. I had been in management, so I knew when we would have site visits, what they were coming to look for, and how to stay on top of it, and kind of manage the household with his absence. If my boss wasn't able to come to work, he didn't have to worry about my location, because it would be okay. So then you have that, and then you come home and you deal with your children, and you deal with, your finances, and just family, friends. You deal with all those things, and so it just all becomes overwhelming. But I'm gonna say this again: don't let people, places, and things have that great of an effect over you. If it does not serve you, I know you guys have heard this, if it does not serve you or grow you, get rid of it. You can do bad all by yourself, I promise you, because people, places, and things will take you down through there and care nothing about it, and they'll be on to the next one. After they stress you out, you pulling your hair out, you in the psych ward, you're in the grave, and they're on to the next person, probably before you even had a chance to get warm, before your body actually got cold. In the morgue, they'll be on to who else life I'm finna mess up. Don't let folks do that to you. Do not. Don't let a job do it to you, because it's just that. You are working anyway to make somebody else rich. Well, if I'm making you rich, I'm damn sure not finna let you stress me out. I'm gonna do whatever I need to do, so that if I'm going to be stressed, I'm going to be stressed on my terms, not on anyone else's. Just plain and simple. It's not gonna happen like that. I'm gonna be on my time. Okay, so with that being said, I worry about those things that I can control. Those things that are not meant for me to worry about, I do not. I've gotten to the point where I turn it over to whoever my higher power is. You deal with it, because that's a battle I was never meant to fight. It's something that I wasn't equipped for, and so I'm gonna lean on you. You go ahead on and deal with people, places, and things that are attempting to affect my sanity. Y'all, it's just amazing how short life is. Like, you don't know the minute, the second, nor the hour. And I'll post it on Instagram. If you follow me on Instagram, and I'll put it up on the screen, you'll see it, my Instagram handle. If you follow me on Instagram, yesterday I put, life is short. It was something to the effect of, mind your business. Do not let stress and BS affect you, and make sure you have some life insurance. I am so tired of seeing GoFundMe's. I'm so tired of having to help put one together for somebody, because we've not planned for our demise. Now, granted, I won't preach this, and I don't recommend everybody do it, because I don't know what your situation is, but tax season is here. Please take every bit of $1,000, maybe, if you get that much, or if you get more, take $1,000 and pay your life insurance for the year. I have I think I have term life coverage, and it's a pretty good policy. And I know that it's for every bit of $100 some odd dollars. So 100 a month is what, 1,200 for the year? Go ahead on and pay. If you don't pay a year, pay 6 months. If you don't want to pay the full 1,200, but please get something in place, something, because especially if you have children, it's a horrible thing for them to have to worry about how you're gonna be buried, how are they gonna manage after you go, things like that. You don't want that burden on your children. I've had that burden on me a few times. When my aunt died, when my cousin died, it wasn't so bad when, it definitely wasn't bad when my granddad died, because my granddad was a veteran. And it also wasn't bad when my grandmother passed away either, because she was the wife of a veteran, so she had some benefits. And but my cousin and my aunt, it was more my cousin than my aunt, because my aunt also had veteran benefits, come to think of it, because she had, her husband was in the military, and so she had veterans benefits as well. But my cousin had nothing. Absolutely nothing. And then she died young. So I've been the one who has been calling around to all the family members that I know are getting up in age and saying, hey, do you have insurance? Do you need to go get some? Like, do something. And I need to see, while I'm over here talking, I thought I asked about my brother. I don't think I may not have asked, but I know I asked my aunt. I have an aunt who lives in Alaska, and I think I asked her. I know I asked my dad. Definitely asked him, because my dad had prostate cancer and survived it, and so it's in remission, and his PSA levels are pretty good. So, but it's always been a concern that if something happens to you, I know my grandmother is older. My grandmother's like almost 90 years old. And I was like, I need to make sure that as your older child, because I am the oldest, that I'm able to bury you and to put you away properly. So my dad was like, yeah, but he was like, I pay my insurance. He was like, I have it. It's here if something happens. I was like, okay. Because believe it or not, I worry about that, because my parents are reaching that age where anything could happen. And plus, they've not lived like the greatest lives health-wise, and because like both of them were smokers, drinkers, like, so I want to make sure that, you know, they're covered. And so I stand by the belief that children are supposed to bury their parents. Parents are not supposed to bury their children. And it's happening so often now that we have more parents burying their children. I just had recently a coworker who, her 2-year-old grandson shot himself. I won't go into the details on that, but shot himself and ended up, of course, having to bury him. I mean, at 2, like, he wasn't even here long enough to enjoy all that, you know, life has to offer. I told my daughter yesterday, I was like, I worry about you. Like, it's so funny because you just don't know. You don't know who, you don't know what, you don't know when, you don't know how. And that unknown is just like, well, you prepare for the worst and just hope for the best. That's all you can do. And I think that that's a lot. So I just wanted to get a little of this off my chest. And this week, I'm trying to think what I have planned for this week. Oh, I want to show you guys another do-it-yourself recipe that I'm putting together. But before I go, let me tell y'all about that coffee scrub mix that I made. Y'all, okay, I put too much coffee. That's one thing, so I'm gonna have to scale the recipe down. But the oils and stuff, was right. Let me tell y'all. I think I might have a hit here, y'all. Last night, I decided I was going to try it before when I was preparing to go to work. I took my shower and it was time for me to exfoliate. So I start exfoliating, guys, and OMG, after I put the coffee scrub on, just scrubbing. Okay. I go to rinse it off. Buttery, soft skin. Y'all, I'm so... Oh, I thought I lost the recipe. Cause y'all know I wrote it. Oh, y'all. I wrote it on a napkin. And now, I hope I ain't lose it. Y'all, I hope I ain't losing the recipe. I said I was gonna type it. I didn't type it. Y'all, I hope I didn't lose that recipe. But golly, when I tell y'all, it was the truth. Skin been soft. It's still soft. Yeah. So this next one that I'm gonna do is oh, I got it, y'all. Woo! I got my recipe. Woo! This next recipe is gonna be for your hair. That's for your skin. This is gonna be for your hair. It's gonna be the rice water. And I'm also going to do, I want to say I'm going to do a rice water before and after. So I'm going to like make the rice water. I'm going to show you how I do that. Then I'm going to use the rice water. I'm going to show you what my hair looks like to begin with. And then the ending part of how much growth I've actually achieved with it. But instead of 10 days, I think I'm actually going to do a month worth of rice water. And I don't know if I'm going to ferment the rice water. I think I might ferment it, but I am going to infuse it. Y'all, I got ideas. They're twirling in my head, y'all. I got ideas. And so now I'm ready to like explore with Bath and Body stuff, like some whipped shea butter mixed with some stuff, and get my little perfect formula and see if maybe I could get a hit out of it. Sounds good to me. Anyway, you guys, this was just my little coffee and chit chat. I'm gonna enjoy this. I actually need to go down to my rent office and talk to my lady, because y'all, let me tell you what these children did. See, right when I was going in, something happened. Let me tell you what these children did. One day, I think it was last week, I called myself going in the kitchen to do just like a little tidying up situation. So I'm turning on my garbage disposal to get rid of whatever is in there, because I normally clean my garbage disposals and whatnot. So I'm doing that, and all of a sudden the garbage disposal goes, and it's making like this. It's screaming at me. Y'all, what in the baby name did my kids do? Y'all, they done got the dish rag down in the disposal. They let it slide down there. Now it's all caught in the blades of the garbage disposal. So now I need to talk to my rent office, like, send a maintenance man up here, like, now, because I do want to use my garbage disposal. Plus, by me not being able to clean it, it's getting ready to start stinking, and I'm not going to be able to stay in my apartment, which means I'm going to have to leave, because I can't do the odor. It already smells sour to me. Of course, the kids are like, Mom, you tripping. Whatever. And so, yeah, I'll probably be back with another chronicle, because Justin forgot his ID for school today, knowing that he was just suspended, y'all, for like a couple of days for not having his ID on the school property. So today he decided he forgot it. So he'll be suspended, which means he'll be sending himself here tomorrow, looking me in my face. Y'all, I don't know how to feel about this child. I love him. You know, of course I love my child. But baby, when God was handing out common sense, sometimes I think it skipped over just. I really do think it skipped over just. And my friend He was like, I hate you be talking about him like that. I said, let me tell you something. It's better it come from me than someone else out in the street. I said, one thing about me, if I don't lie to YouTubers, I don't lie to strangers. What makes you think I'm going to lie to my children? I'm going to tell them exactly what it is and how it's supposed to be and whatnot. I don't have a filter when it comes to my children. What I say is what the hell I said. You don't like it, you free to dispute it, but at the end of the day, it's still gonna be exactly what it is. And I ain't even finna go through the extra. Y'all just heard me take out my checkbook so I can go pay my rent. And I was lazy. I ain't get up out the bed to pay rent. I just can't be bothered to do all that. So I'm gonna pay it today. Plus, I need to go get some stuff situated with sis because my rental company is janky as all get out. Because my lease was up in November. Okay, I was supposed to sign my lease the beginning of December. December came, went, and she still ain't gave me no lease to sign off on. And I'm fine if we're gonna do month to month. I'm good with that. Cause that means when I get ready to leave, I ain't bound by no contract. I can get on, which I'm looking to move anyway. This just might speed it up for me. Anyway, you guys, let me go and pay this rent, talk to the rental worker, and try to get some stuff done around the house a little bit. I'll be back probably with another tutorial. Thank you for watching. As always, like, comment, subscribe, do it all, and then come back and see me. Like, what? Come back, because I love you. I love you. I love you.